Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking. Right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League.
Move over, guys, because it's about damn time for the queens to take their seat upon Chiefs Kingdom's throne.
6 consecutive AFC West titles. 7 consecutive years in the playoffs. 4 consecutive home AFC championship games. Join us on this ride to keep these streaks alive.
Chiefs Kingdom's spirit is unyielding. Whether we're down 10 points in a Super Bowl with only 7 minutes left, or 3 points in a playoff game with only 13 seconds to go, our belief in our Chiefs never wavers.
So Patrick Mahomes is the king of Chiefs Kingdom, and long live the king. But it's time for this reign to make way for some queens. We are the Kingdom's queens.
Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to the Kingdom's Queens podcast. We are off of another riveting week in the NFL. Week 5. I can't believe we're already we already passed week 5 now. That's pretty crazy to me. We are off of some crazy games this week, but we cannot wait to get into it. I am your host, Lexi.
I'm Chrissy.
I'm Shelley.
I'm Jodi.
And we're so excited to have Shelley joining us from the UK this week.
Good
Another
morning.
sacrifice. It's 1 a.m. for her, so she is a trooper. We love having her here with us. She was able to go to the London game last weekend, so we are so excited to hear what she has to say about that. And I think without further ado, let's dive right into it.
Highlights around the league. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. So I'm going to cover the Ravens-Bengals game. Something I found really interesting about this game is that the possession for each team was within 2 seconds of each other. So Cincinnati had possession of the ball for 30 minutes and 1 second, and Baltimore was 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, it was just such a really evenly matched game. Once again, I thought Baltimore's defense was going to lose it for them again, but they hung on, which was great. Lamar Jackson is running like a man on a mission, man. He looks fantastic on the ground. He is making some good plays with his arm, but, he still is Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And he's missing some pretty key open plays. But, I can't really fault the guy. He is playing hard, and I'll give him credit. When he runs, he doesn't slide. He goes full force, man. So a lot of props to Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews too. He's definitely a top 3 tight end in the league, potentially top 2 behind our Kelsey. So he's playing really, really well. Probably as good as I've seen him play. Something that I know I tweeted about was there was a couple plays, especially on this one drive, where Cincinnati tried to get cute. And they tried to run a couple plays to look like the Chiefs, and they failed both times. And it was just, I don't know. It's just, I still have a little bit of emotion from the game last week, last year. So, I guess last season. But anyway,
yeah.
but Cincinnati, I think they're a good team, but their O-line is still struggling. Burrow is actually on pace to have been sacked more times than even last year. He got sacked 3 times this last game. He's on pace to being sacked over 61 times this year. So their O-line still has a lot of work to do. So
do you think that's on their O-line, or do you think that's more of him not getting the ball out quick enough?
I think it's both.
Both, for sure. Yeah.
And I have some Cincinnati friends. I have family from Cincinnati. I've got some friends from Cincinnati. And a lot of them are really, really mad about Zach Taylor's decision-making when it comes to analytics versus feeling the game, not going for a field goal to potentially tie the game when they're 4th and goal and they're trying to get a touchdown, or not to tie the game. They were up by anyway. But a lot of them are actually calling for Zach Taylor's job. They're sick of it. They're sick of the analytics. They just want him to go with the flow of the game and not just follow analytics. So interesting game for sure. Yeah.
What about you, Shelley? Let's hear about your experience over there.
So, yeah, I'm going to talk about the Giants-Packers game. Obviously, we'll get onto what that was like, and I've got some videos for you guys. I mean, I can't believe the result after the Packers looked so strong for so much of the game. It was going well. They were using Randall Cobb really well. Watching it back now, we rewatched the game when we got home to see if we could see ourselves on TV. And even then, I don't know how they managed to lose that game. I don't know how the Giants made that comeback. But that just seems to be what we're seeing really this season. Let's be honest, we did it, right? So you cannot call these games early doors. I don't think there's any fan that can be, we've got this, we're definitely going to win it, because this turnaround is just crazy. So even though the game was amazing, it was really, really brilliant to be there live. And it's such a shame that London only does a few games over the season, because it was phenomenal. But the result, I don't know how Green Bay managed to lose that game.
They had a lot of, I don't know what happened in the second half there. The Giants adjusted and Green Bay did not.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate.
I think that is unfortunately kind of what we're seeing from Aaron Rodgers this season, as well as other teams around the league. He's just taking his foot off the pedal, and I've got to wonder, has he still got it? Are we seeing Aaron Rodgers at his best, or I don't know? It doesn't seem like he's got a full game in, and I wonder if the Packers will adjust and maybe start bringing Jordan Love on a little bit more, to get him that practice and ready to take over.
Yeah, it seems like Aaron Rodgers is really checked out. I'm just saying that as a fantasy owner as well, who's dropped Aaron Rodgers because he hasn't done anything all season. It just seems like he's mentally checked out. I agree. He just doesn't seem like he really cares to be there.
I think we can't take credit away from Danny Dimes, though. I mean, he's had a really good season so far. They're 4-1 right now. I think we have to make sure that he gets the credit. I didn't think he was playing this week. Last week. They said earlier that he wasn't going to play, so I took him out of my fantasy, of course, only for him to come in and ball out. So I was really surprised to see him in the game, but I also think he's carrying his weight. I mean, the NFC East looks good right now. They got 2 4-1 teams and a 5-0 team. They're the division that we thought the AFC West would be.
Yeah.
Just a little quick shake.
It's very surprising, I will say.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to talk Bills Steelers real quick. That game was interesting. Wow. I really don't know how to explain it more than
the least.
I mean, the Steelers were bad. They were not good. They only scored 3 points, and Josh Allen went crazy the first half. He blacked out. The first half, he had 3 touchdowns, 300 yards in the first half, 4 touchdowns in the first half. I was like, what in the world? That's insane. So, I mean, he ended up overall, I think, 424 yards, but Gabe Davis, he also played lights out. I mean, that dude had he had 3 wrecks and 171 yards. What? Fantasy, mind you, he was on my bench because he did that the first 4 weeks. So to see him have 30 points by halftime was a little frustrating, but everybody looked good. I mean, Diggs had 100 yards. I don't know what the Steelers are going to do, coaching-wise. I definitely think that Tomlin and that OC need to figure out, what type of page they want to be on. I mean, they made the quarterback change last week. We expected him to come in and be something fantastic. Maybe it's tough because the Bills are an elite team this year. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a confidence booster that was for.
What a game to make your debut against.
Man, that's tough, right? So, I mean, maybe they'll bounce back this week. I don't know who they play. Oh, well, I don't really care. But that's really all I got. That was an insane game, and I think that was a really good confidence boost for them coming into Kansas City this week.
I'm actually going to dive into the Colts and Broncos, which was just one of the most phenomenal games we've ever seen, right?
Lights out. Lights out.
Lights out. So many touchdowns, I couldn't even keep up. I want to start by saying it's a shame that the NFL gave the Broncos so many primetime games. I know we were expecting a lot because we were told that they just needed a quarterback and that was going to be it. Russell Wilson, I don't know. He just did not look good at all. And neither did Matt Ryan. And I want to say they're both a little bit washed up. I'm sorry if that's harsh, but they're both looking a little bit washed up. They each had about 250 yards. They each had like Matt Ryan had a quarterback rating of 20.
Oh,
Russell Wilson had a quarterback rating of 16.
Oh, God.
Lovely. Beautiful.
No one had a touchdown. It was a game of
so
field
bad.
goals. Broncos fans were leaving early. It was just pitiful. And the soft side of me almost feels bad for Broncos fans. Not quite enough, but almost. But that was just, it was interception after interception. I'm not even sure how they managed to get so many yards in that. I will say Jonathan Taylor was out for the Colts, so that was a huge loss for them. And then Nyheim Hines went out within like the first drive or so. And that was really sad to see with a pretty bad concussion, it looked like. So I hope he's okay. And then, Javonte Williams is out on the Broncos side. I will say, though, the receivers did pretty well. Sutton and Judy had a few good plays.
Sutton was good. Yeah.
Pierce and Pittman had a few good plays. I think Pierce could be something for the Colts. So I think that's maybe a bright spot for them. But their defenses looked all right. They had some interceptions. They had some turnovers. And I think I don't know. I don't know what to expect from either team going forward here. Broncos country, let's hide. You are correct.
100%.
That's pretty much all you can say. And we have to suffer through yet another primetime football game of the Broncos next Monday. So
is this their last one? They had like 7.
Oh, they have more. They're playing overseas. Yeah. So there's not a lot to say there. But yeah, that was just not pretty for the AFC. And we are blessed that Patrick Mahomes knows how to put on a good primetime game. So that being said, this past weekend, Shelley had the pleasure of the NFL traveling over to the UK. It was also her birthday, so we want to wish a very happy birthday to our lovely Shelley.
Happy birthday! Thank you.
I know you had the best time, even though the Packers lost, and I know your husband was not happy about that, but I'm sure it was a great experience either way. And we are lucky enough, they actually put together a little video for us. So I'm going to go ahead and so you guys get a first look inside the NFL over in the UK.
Hey Chiefs Kingdom, we're here, we're outside the Hotspur Stadium, we're ready to go in. London is an absolute sea of green and gold. It's been amazing, we've met so many brilliant fans, maybe we've had a couple of drinks, but I can neither deny nor confirm that rumour. Dom, take them around and show them everybody.
Ja, wir haben jetzt noch 3 Stunden, bis das Spiel losgeht.
Say hi. Hi.
So we're going in now and we'll take some more videos inside of the stadium, but it is brilliant.
Have a good game.
Hey everyone, we're here, we're inside the Spurs Stadium and it is amazing. It's not even halfway full and the noise is incredible. I know that Green Bay are going to bring it today. We met Randall Cobb, it was amazing. Pics on Twitter to follow. As you can see, the players are warming up, they're coming out from the tunnel, some of them are taking selfies with their fans. So we're here, we're almost ready to go and I can't wait. Okay everybody, so it wasn't the result that we wanted and I've got two very disappointed Green Bay fans.
Oh my God!
But it was the best weekend ever, you know, the game was amazing until it wasn't. What can I say? I consoled them with, we lost the Colts. I don't know. What happens in the NFL is crazy. But thank you so much for being on this journey with us. I'm glad that we got to show you around the London games. And hopefully we're going to beat the Raiders this week.
That was absolutely awesome. I'm so glad you guys had a good time.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more details about your whole experience.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I went last year as well, and we went to the Dolphins Jags game, and that was brilliant. It was really good. It was my first time seeing a live NFL game, but this was something else. And the best thing about it were the people. You know, we've got lots of photos in there with lots of fans, both of the Chiefs and of Green Bay, and it was just such a community. And I think sometimes NFL fans in England can feel a little bit distant because of the time difference. And you don't always meet people that even really know much about the NFL, but just being together and the atmosphere in London, you know, Green Bay fans are amazing, so friendly, so kind. And we just couldn't have wished for a better time, really. There was various Green Bay meetups on the Saturday. So that made my birthday very good, very fun. And then on the Sunday, I mean, you saw from the video, I don't think I've ever actually been any happier than it was on Sunday at the game. So, yeah, I think definitely we're going to have to make the next stop Arrowhead. It's got to happen, right?
Absolutely. Obviously.
Definitely. But yeah, absolutely amazing. And if you ever get a chance to come over for a London game, there were so many American fans. Everybody I met was American and they'd come over from the game. Lots of people who had come from Wisconsin, actually. So that was really nice to meet people. But yeah, it's crazy how many Americans actually traveled over for the game. And there was people from Germany, all over the place. So really cool.
Well, I think the Chiefs might eventually play in Germany, right? Like maybe next season or the next few seasons. So that would be really
They have
fun.
a really big fan base in Germany, for
Yeah.
sure. So
that would be really cool if some of us could get over there. So never know.
I'll be over there. I'll be going to Germany.
Yes, definitely.
I'd like to get back to Germany. Germany was cool. They got good food too. It's great.
Yeah, and the
I
games
like food, okay? Sorry.
November in Germany, Christmas markets. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Oh, I just had bratwurst for dinner, so yeah.
Me too.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did. And potatoes. Like
That's
it was
hilarious.
like a German dinner. It was great.
See, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
Well, thank you so much, Shelley. That was incredible. it was like I was in your pocket. And I know we FaceTimed for like a quick second too. It was so good to see you guys' face while y'all were over there. I'm glad you had an amazing birthday. Feel free to go in the comments, people. Tell Shelley happy belated birthday. You can still do that. So let's go ahead and hop into this Chiefs recap. Chiefs, Raiders, Arrowhead, Monday Night Football was insane. Stadium was rocking from start to finish.
You were okay, Jodi. You were there. Was the stadium louder last night or for the Chargers game? Which?
Oh no, it was definitely louder yesterday. Like my voice is finally starting to come back. Like it was crazy from start to finish. Like, and I feel like Arrowhead always is rocking, so I never want to take that from the stadium. But yesterday, it's like the fans were so into it, which you guys could tell that on the TV by the way the ref was when he was trying to call that holding penalty. But it was insane. Like I love Chiefs fans. They really set the tone of the stadium. It doesn't matter what game we play, which I want to talk about that later, but they truly set the tone of the stadium. This team, and you could see a lot of the players were posting after how crazy Arrowhead was. So that just kind of tells you what it was like. It was a different type of environment for sure. Can't wait.
I think like what you're saying, a lot of times when you talk on like Twitter or things, you're talking about like, yeah, we played really well, or we did this, we did that. And they're like, you're not on the team. Like, why are you saying we? And it's like, I watched that game yesterday, and I feel like the Chiefs Kingdom was the momentum shift in the game.
100%.
Because when that roughing the passer penalty got called, Chiefs Kingdom, man, they came alive. Yes. And normally something like that could shift the momentum into the Raiders, onto the Raiders side. But it's like the opposite happened. Like something bad happened and Chiefs Kingdom took over. They booed. They were loud. They were rowdy. They were crazy. And Chiefs Kingdom shifted the momentum of that game because our players fed off of it, and it was beautiful. I was screaming from my living room, much to my mom's demise. So sorry about that, Mom.
Same, Chrissy, same.
I was like, I'm gonna be saying some language, Mom. I'm sorry. But, oh my gosh.
My mom and my dog told me to go into the other room for a minute.
I'm lucky my kids were not near me. They would have heard some not so good language from myself. But I do have to give credit. As much as it makes me feel sick to do, the Raiders played a near perfect game.
Yeah,
you could tell that this game has been circled on their calendar since last year because we annihilated them twice last year. Yeah. And I felt that they came out, they started hot. We did not start well. And I really feel like the Raiders did everything that they possibly could to beat us. They didn't. But they literally played a near perfect game. And it just goes to show you that, like, our Chiefs, we didn't play even close to a perfect game. In fact, it was the first half reminded me a lot of the Colts game. And we were just like, what is happening? But we made adjustments. We shifted the momentum. Chiefs Kingdom, hell yeah. And we came back alive in the second half. So it just goes to show you that you can play a near perfect or perfect game and you still may not beat the Chiefs who are playing a half game. So, but yeah, and I can say I really hope Trey Smith comes back soon, and I really hope Butker comes back soon.
Yes.
We miss them, and it was in Willie Gay too, and I know why he's not back, but we were missing them
Trent,
yesterday for sure.
Trent. We miss you too, Trent.
Yes, he'll be back hopefully this week. So he's supposed to start practicing.
The good news is we get a bunch of players back this week. I think we get Mike Dana back, which is a big piece on our D line, so that's huge for us. We should get McDuffie back.
Yeah,
maybe, hopefully.
We should. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's trending that way. So hopefully,
knocking wood. Yes.
Yeah. No, the game was insane. I mean, going down 17-0, you guys know how I do. If we're losing, I go to the bar.
I know. I messaged. I was like, how many laps has Jodi done around this game right now? Like, how much is she?
Went to the bar, game immediately turned around. I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Somebody buy her drinks, please.
I wasn't even drinking. I was just like, this is where I'm supposed to stand. So I just stood there. But I mean, it was crazy. Derek Carr played really good. Josh Jacobs was great. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I know that was tough for them. I mean, you could see the emotions clearly after the game of how hard they took it. But I mean, you got to give credit what credit is due. I mean, I know you guys want to talk about Travis Kelce and how amazing he is. He completely killed both my parlays. That's totally fine. But that guy was amazing. McCole was, I feel like this was McCole's outbreak game finally for the season. Like he finally is like, okay, I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, those 4 catches that he had were super clutch. Like 2 of them were really big third downs that kept
I'm surprised
going. So
he like hobbled horribly off the field, and I was like, he's not going back in because I know you couldn't see it in the stadium, but on TV they were showing him on the bench, and he was like grimacing. He was in a ton of pain.
Really?
And then it was like 2 minutes back, he was back out there, and there was no limp at all. But I was shocked to see him go back in, and then he immediately got the ball and made a huge play. So
I was so confused at what happened there. I was like, wait, he just looked like he was limping off the field. I didn't expect him to return, and then he was right back in. I was like, okay.
It makes me wonder if he got like stepped on or cleated or something. Like, I don't know, because I was worried about like an Achilles or his heel getting worse or something. Like it looked really bad. So I'm glad he's okay. Good job, McCole. Thank you. You did great.
Yeah, no, he definitely played with some grit yesterday. So I love to see it. Go ahead, Lexi Shelley. I know y'all want to chime in.
Go ahead, Shelley.
Okay, so as always, as is customary, agree with everything that Chrissy said. But it was interesting that you were talking about Chiefs Kingdom because during the game, so we got up obviously for the game last night after a long weekend, so it was difficult. And at about 2, Dom said to me, "Your dad has texted you." It's like, why has my dad? What is going on? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and he had got up to watch the game just because, I mean, I never stopped talking about the Chiefs.
That's amazing.
So he was messaging me while the game was on. And from the point of view as a neutral, he was saying, oh, you know, this is quite a deficit. What are you guys going to do? And I said to him, what I think we've all said, you can't write off the Chiefs. Never, ever. It doesn't matter if we are 17-0. There's nothing that we can't come back from, it seems. So, yeah, I think you're completely right. I think when that energy and the fans and the noise get behind that team, there's nothing that they can't do. I think it was really interesting and really good to see MVS for us, especially in what must be a heartbreaking match for Devontae Adams. Obviously, we saw his reaction was one of anger and unacceptable behavior, quite frankly. But I think if you are Devontae Adams and you're playing with the Raiders and you've left Green Bay and you're there on this promise that Derek Carr is going to deliver and you're going to win, and that's not happening, and then you're seeing MVS playing so well for the Chiefs, I think that's probably, you know, for my mind, part of the frustration.
For sure.
I didn't even think about that perspective, and that's very true. Yeah, that's very
great point, Shelley. Great point.
I didn't see did MVS and Devontae interact after the game because they're former teammates. I didn't notice if they interacted or not.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I would assume they would, but I don't know.
They kind of just went straight to interviewing Mahomes and Kelce, and I didn't really see much else. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just an absolutely crazy game. I mean, it started off so slow. But Patrick Mahomes, he is the most winningest quarterback when coming down from a deficit by 10 or more points. Well above any other quarterback. Tom Brady's the closest one, of course, and even he's not very close to where Mahomes is in coming down from a deficit. So I think as Chiefs fans, you know, we were accustomed to losing for so many years. And so when we get down like that, it's like, oh my gosh, all of us start to panic, but then we have to remember who we have at quarterback, who we have as coach. And there's nothing this team can't do when they want to win, which is really, really inspiring to see. So I'm really proud of our team. And I think, you know, if we want to dive into players of the game a bit, I know Shelley's was MVS. Mine is definitely Jerick McKinnon for this game. Jerick McKinnon, you know, what's interesting with our running back room is each week it kind of seems to take a different direction. Like you never know, and again for like fantasy football, it's terrible, but you never know if it's gonna quite take off. And this week it was Jerick McKinnon's week. It was his week. It was his time. Clyde, for some reason, just kept getting stopped on every run, like right away. Immediately, he was stopped.
Like 1 or 1.5 yards.
There wasn't a lot there, and McKinnon he latched on to Orlando Brown, and they just like rode it out.
Yeah.
And I want to say too, on that drive, I rewatched it today. Travis Kelce at the beginning of that McKinnon Orlando Brown Jr. run. Travis Kelce had some great blocks at the beginning there.
Huge block, yes.
Yeah. Eyes on him, and Travis Kelce managed to block both of them off so Jerick could get out running. So I don't want to hear any more slander about how Travis Kelce can't block, because that's just not even a valid thing to me anymore. But
and like, no offense, I'd rather have the Travis Kelce who scores, who's leading all receivers and touchdowns, than Travis Kelce. Oh, look how great he can block.
Absolutely.
So,
I love having the both parts of that. I love having both aspects of that.
I mean, I think Travis only had 11 touchdowns last year, and he already has 7.
Yeah, he already has 7.
It's week 5.
He is well on his way.
Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon was just super impressive. And you know what else really impresses me about Jerick McKinnon is that he really knows how to block as well. He put
he's a great pass blocker.
Defender Diablo, who was making big plays at the game. Jerick McKinnon flipped him over during a really key play that we needed him in. And so he came up so clutch for me that game. I am so proud of what I saw from him. I really, really like Jerick McKinnon and what we see. And I really like what we see from our running back room. And I know it's not overly consistent with everyone, but everyone seems to have their own breakout in each game, whether it's Pacheco, McKinnon, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They all kind of find their niche and go with it. So this was McKinnon's game, and he did very well, and I'm very pleased with what he did.
Yeah. I think that's what makes us so unique as a team. It's going to be somebody different every single week.
Yeah.
So there's, me, I like controversy. So I'm going to ask you guys what y'all thought about the Matt Crosby, Patrick Mahomes interaction, and how there was no flag.
Yeah.
Want to get you guys' thought on that.
One thing I will say about Max Crosby is that I know things happen in the heat of the moment. But I do know that he respects, if you remember from the Pro Bowl game last season, he respects the heck out of Mahomes and Andy Reid. And so I think it's just the heat of the moment. I'm not going to read into it, but it's football.
It's just
I look at that and I'm like, it didn't bother me one bit, because it just looked like to me like two guys, like it's not like they hit each other's helmets hard or pushed each other. They were just like kind of talking at each other. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm assuming this is who Mahomes was talking at. On the sidelines, they show him and he was like, I'm here. I'm right here. And I'm like, he has been talking to Max Crosby. But I was like pumped up. I was sitting there like, yeah, look at him go. He's talking. Petty Pat is back.
Nothing makes me happier than a petty pat and a pissed off Andy Reid. Nothing makes me happier than that.
I feel like if I were Chris Jones and I saw that, I would be frustrated, because to me, both things were non-penalty when it comes to talking to each other on the field. So I'd be frustrated.
If we want to dive into that a little bit with Chris Jones, I think what's really frustrating is that we've now seen 2 sacks get taken away from him because of really, really soft calls. Between Matt Ryan the other week and then this one, this was like, he's the first player in NFL history to have the ball in his hand and be called for roughing the passer. First player in history. And you're telling me that's a fair call? Like,
even Derek Carr said that it wasn't a penalty.
Right.
I'm interested to see how the conversation goes in the NFL this week. I know they're supposed to be meetings.
They posted an interview with Carl Sheffers already about like why it was a penalty, why it didn't matter that Chris Jones had the ball, and to me it was a bunch of BS. Yeah.
You know, Travis already has beef with this ref already anyway. Oh, what happened in past years. We're so glad that Travis grown up. Let's just say that.
I know. I watched that interview from 2016. I was like, oh, look at our baby boy Travis with his hot hair.
Yeah, he's grown up. For sure. For sure. Well, I know Lexi already. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shelley.
That was the call heard around the world, right? As soon as that happened, Twitter went crazy, and people from all fan bases were like, no way is that a penalty. You know, and I love that Andy Reid was not having any of it. Yeah. Absolutely not. You know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and Don was next to me going, yeah, no, that's not right. So I wonder what will be said, and if anything will come of it. But I saw the video of Jones afterwards, and he knows that he was done wrong on that play, but that's one of the things that I love about him, that actually he's just like, yeah, well, you know, that's how it goes. It was the wrong decision, but there just seems to be understanding in him when you watch these videos and they talk to him about what's happened.
He was super classy too. When they asked him about it, super classy.
Chris Jones, he's like a big scary man, but then he's like a soft little teddy bear. Like I love him. You can tell he just has a good heart, and he doesn't. It was just a really, really unfortunate call. Both of those were, and then not to mention the Tom Brady call. I don't know if we want to dive into that a little bit, but he got the same call against the Falcons, and it's a game changer. You know,
both of those potentially could have changed the game for worse. You know, so
it was the exact same play. It was the exact. If you see the videos, how they're compared side by side, I know that's like all over social media right now. It's the exact same play, like the exact same.
And I think the league is on high alert. Like you see all these other like current NFL players right now tweeting about it. Like, if you can't sack like that, then how are we expected to sack?
What are we supposed to do? Exactly.
Have you seen the Kevin Hart interview where he's like being held and they're like, you gotta put me down. Like, oh, I need a pillow. I need a blanket. You can read me a bedtime story. Hilarious.
Play something nice to me. That's so funny.
I mean, obviously, we hate to see injuries, right? Whenever it happens, we all say nobody wants to see that. But so I can understand, you know, what happened to Tua was horrible, and nobody wanted to watch that footage. Every time that it comes up on my timeline, I have to scroll past it. It's awful. You know, player safety has to be the number one. But you're right. If players can't sack like that, then, you know, are we going to not let them sack at all? I don't understand what's going to change.
Right. And Mahomes got sacked during that game, and it reminded me a lot of the Brady sack from the Atlanta game. I mean, he was kind of thrown to the ground a little bit, but to me, it looked like a sack. Like, to me, I mean, but Mahomes doesn't get to benefit from those calls very often. So that's a whole nother topic we won't dive into today.
Most people don't, you know, most quarterbacks don't benefit from those calls. I know Tom Brady gets his share of special calls, but I was surprised to see Derek Carr get that same call. But our players handle it with class, and I appreciate that as well. We don't knock cameramen over after because we're mad. So
nope.
All right. Well, Lexi said earlier about who your player of the week is, and she spoke about McKinnon. Who do you guys have?
So I think we all agree Mahomes and Kelsey were just in a league of their own. So obviously, like, good. They're obviously our absolute players of the game. But I wanted to draw a little bit of attention to Darius Harris. So I think I actually talked about him last week too. He is filling in for Willie Gay at linebacker. Yeah. And he is really, like, he led our team in tackles yesterday. He had a sack on Derek Carr. I think he's really stepped in and done a great job filling in for Willie Gay. Yes, you can definitely sense Willie Gay's absence in the middle of the field, especially covering tight ends or those routes in the middle of the field. But for everything that Darius Harris is being asked to do while Willie Gay is out, like, I'm really happy that he's doing as well as he is. So that is who I chose, was Darius Harris.
Love it.
What about you, Shelley?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with MVS. I think it's really great to see him, you know, having, like you said, you know, breakout games and really making his presence known for Kansas City. I think we're going to see really good things from him. I think we're going to use him in a way that Green Bay never did. So I think he's definitely come to the right place, and it was a great game to watch him take part in.
Yeah, I love seeing their connection grow, especially the last 2 games. It looks like they're finally just in sync. So, agreed.
For sure. My player of the game is Miko. I mean, the 2 big third downs, but then he had that huge block for TK too, so he can get into the end zone again. So he may have been hurt. He might have only had 1 foot, 1 leg, but he did what he needed to do yesterday to get the job done. So I'm really glad to see him finally start to play that role player that we've all been looking for him to be these last few weeks.
Yeah.
I do agree with Kenneth a little bit here in his comment about Leo Chenal. I think we expected a little more of him because he had the death row on his arm, and I don't know.
Is he the one who said he likes violence or something? Was that him? Yeah.
Physicality and violence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just
That's
expect
a wild take. That's a wild take. Let's not do that.
Well, I mean, we do want that out of our players, but he needs to show it on the field. So if you're gonna say those words, you got to put your actions to it. So
Missouri, baby, show me state.
And we do have to remember, rookies in Spag's defensive system, there is a lot for them to learn. And Leo Chenal, I think he can be something special. But right now, I think he was doing more when Willie Gay was there. I think he's really missing Willie Gay in that leadership role that he's got. I think Nick Bolton is having to kind of play so many extra roles right now with Willie Gay being out that maybe he just doesn't have that extra mentorship that he needs. And I think Willie Gay was really giving that to him. So I'm going to withhold judgment on Leo Chenal until later in the season when Willie Gay is back and we're at full strength in linebacker again.
It's really early. I mean, it's only week 6.
Right.
I don't know how long we can say it's still really early, but it's still really early. It's only week 6. So
until we decide otherwise.
Yeah, it'll be week 12. It's still really early.
It's still early.
Week 16
before the Super Bowl. It's still early. We're fine.
So funny.
I do agree with this. I do think Colin Saunders deserves some praise. I really, you know what, Sir Binky Moss, whatever he calls himself, I love him. I've been a fan of his for a while now, and I don't think he gets enough praise on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
If you notice, I mean, he's quick. Like, he's a big dude, but he's quick when he needs to be. He's great
deceivingly quick.
He's great at a lot of random little niches, and I really like Colin Saunders a lot. He's going to have to step up more now that Tershawn Wharton unfortunately went out with a torn ACL, and I'm super, super bummed about that. We love Wharton. He's been playing really well. So that's super unfortunate, but I do think Colin Saunders can step up there, and I think he will. And I really
deserve those extra snaps.
Yeah. He
All right,
definitely does.
so who's your rookie of the game?
I think we all struggled on this a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't the best game for all of our rookies. I mean, there were some good moments. Sky Moore had some great plays, especially on key, our first play on a first down, and he had some key plays. George Karlaftis got, he shared a sack with Frank Clark. So that was nice, but I didn't see much of him the rest of the game. And then Jalen Watson, I thought that considering he had a really tough task trying to keep up with Devontae Adams, I felt that he did a really good job covering him, because I'll give it to Derek Carr. The passes, he only had 3 receptions, Derek Carr to Devontae Adams. There's only 3 receptions. So, I mean, I feel like he could have done a lot more damage had our corners and our safeties not kept up with him all night. So, it was just an okay game for our rookies, but it's also a really emotional game. They don't quite understand the Raiders-Chiefs rivalry yet, so they just may have been a little overwhelmed by all the emotion of the game too. So.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we had a big week this week. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Shelley. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, for Sky Moore, I do think that obviously in the Colts game, he was making lots of mistakes, and we saw that really clear frustration from him there. So I think just seeing him kind of building up that consistency and being a little bit more reliable in position is definitely something positive and something good. So yeah, I agree with Chrissy. I think Sky Moore, did well.
Yeah.
I'm not hating anything I'm seeing from our rookies. They're just learning. I mean, it's
of course.
Like we said, it's still week 5. I mean, there's a lot to go through.
And we're asking a lot of our rookies. A lot.
Here's the thing with our rookies, the Bills rookies, a lot of these guys are being thrown into like really, really tough situations. They're expected a lot.
To be champions.
And I do think they've shown a lot of good flashes. I think Jalen Watson has been right there on a lot of plays. Yes. He's given him, he got called on a somewhat PI.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's right there though. So I think he has all the capabilities. I just think he needs to fine tune a little bit.
I haven't seen him get burned yet. I haven't seen them get burned. And like, for example, like Kenneth in our comments is asking, would you start Jalen Watson over Fenton when he returns? Or when McDuffie returns? I 100% would, because I feel like Fenton is getting burned. I'm doing a lot of like the Dan Sorensen, like, what are you doing? Like, why, like, how are you getting beat like this, like he did last year? And I feel like Jalen Watson is always right there. I've never seen him get burned on a play. So I would.
That's very true. And Fenton was barely burned yesterday, but he was right there, but he was burned.
All right, we got to get into Chiefs Bills. We got to.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What are y'all thinking? How are y'all feeling?
Oh man, Chiefs Bills. So what's interesting about this game? We all know how big of a rivalry Chiefs Bills have become, right?
Yeah.
So what's crazy about this game is both teams are 4-1. Both teams are 2-0 at home and 2-1 on the road.
Yep.
The quarterbacks are like both going back and forth, ranked first and second. This game is. It should be great. It should be. I have this weird feeling it's not going to live up to the expectations we all have in our head from the 13-second game from last year. But I think there's going to be so much emotion. I'm really, really happy that this game is at Arrowhead. And I think the Chiefs have 2 huge advantages in the game. One is that the game is at Arrowhead, and Chiefs Kingdom is going to be bringing that energy just like they did for the Raiders game and the Chargers game. And the second big advantage is that we have Patrick Lavon Mahomes, and he is playing lights out on a whole nother planet. Lavon is here. And I think it's going to be a great, great game. Honestly, I have so much respect for the Bills. They're like a rival that you respect. It's not like a rival that you hate. I respect the Bills a lot. And I see this could be a really awesome game. I'm more of a defensive that I feel like whichever team has the better O-line and whichever team has the better defense, whoever plays better in this game, I should say, that should be the team that wins the game.
Yeah.
I actually really quickly want to touch on, because we kind of scraped over these details. Mahomes and Kelsey broke some records last night.
They did.
And I actually ended up calling out Troy Aikman on my Instagram story for not announcing that Mahomes broke his record last night.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman ended up viewing my story, which I did not expect, but you gotta call them out when they deserve it. Patrick Mahomes in 68 games has scored 166 passing touchdowns. Troy Aikman in 165 games scored 165 passing touchdowns. So Mahomes has done that in like less than half the games that Troy did that. So I just want to say that's a pretty cool record to beat. I wish Troy Aikman would have acknowledged that online, but unfortunately
it would have been classy. It would have.
I wish he would have.
Are you surprised?
No, absolutely
exactly. not. I'm like, no, we're not. I'm not surprised at all.
Mahomes gets 1/3 of my
And then Travis Kelce is the first tight end to do that at Arrowhead. So I just think that's pretty cool and should be acknowledged. And we love Kelce, so.
Kelsey.
Anyway,
I think we need to have a moment to show appreciation for Petty Lexi over there. Never mind PayPal. We got Petty Lexi. I love it.
Petty Lexi.
Love it.
We're all petty. It's petty season.
Oh, 100%.
Shelley, if you want to touch on the Bills game.
So, if I never have to deal with another 13-second finish at 4:30 in the morning again in my life, it will be too soon. And, I can live without the overtime. I got to get up at 6 o'clock after these games. That was insane. I don't want that ever again. However, I think that both teams will put on the defensive show. So I don't think it will be particularly high scoring. And we have seen some really high scoring games recently. So I think it's going to be low scoring. I've still got the Chiefs, obviously, every time. But I think it's going to be a good show from our defense.
Yeah.
I think we get McDuffie back, so I'm really excited to see him against the Bills because I know the Bills wanted him as their draft pick, and we went up and swooped him. So I really want to see how that matchup goes. As long as he's back, I feel like he'll be on at least Diggs or Gabriel Davis. So I'm very excited for that matchup. And then I hope we see Snead, Thornhill. I hope, Justin Reed. I think there's going to be some interesting matchups come this Sunday. So I'm very interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be an offensive shootout. I don't know if it's going to be a defensive I do not know really what to expect, but I do think both teams are going to have pretty creative game plans going into this. I think I know Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, Mahomes, Kelsey, they have this on their radar. Like they want to prove that they won that game and
without the overtime
again. So I think they're going to come up with some fun stuff, and I'm really excited to see what happens. I think Arrowhead is going to be absolutely electric.
Yeah,
for sure. I think my takeaways for this game are can't abandon the run. Got to run. Get CEH and Pacheco active early. I think I say it every week. We got to start fast. Josh Allen gets the ball out just as fast as Patrick Mahomes. So they're going to come out the gate slinging. So we have to be able to keep up with the same energy that they're going to have because they're going to come out fast. I think it's important that we figure out a way to stop the run game. Like we cannot let Gabe Davis go off like he just did against the Steelers. Now, granted, it's the Steelers. No shade. Yeah. But we cannot let Gabe Davis go off like that at all. And then Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs. So we got to just make sure that – and I feel good. Like, Snead, I feel good about everybody, especially, like, in our secondary, which I feel like I've never said before. So
I think the key to this game, like you said, is just – the Bills, they do have those explosive plays.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have as many explosive plays as we would like with Tyreek Hill.
Right.
I think the key, like you said, is running and keeping the ball in our possession and not giving them as many opportunities. We need to play it like we kind of did the Bucs game. And so I hope that's kind of a similar game plan, what we did there. I think we're going to see a showing of all of our running backs, actually. I think it's going to be whoever decides that it's their game.
Yep. And one thing that I want to touch on, you guys, nobody is talking about this. Josh Allen has 4 fumbles this season already in 5 games. He has 4 fumbles. And I think he kind of had a fumbling problem last year, too, if I recall. They were turning over the ball, but they weren't necessarily losing those fumbles, but he was fumbling the ball quite a bit. And so that seems to be a problem he still has. So I feel like if we can really get pressure on him, if our defense and our D-line and Snead, if he's doing those blitzes where he's going right for the quarterback and whatnot, if we can really get pressure on Josh Allen and maybe cause some of those fumbles, that could be the change in the game.
I think Chris Jones has 2 sacks easily. Yeah. I think he has 2 sacks. Hopefully he actually gets the call. But I definitely think he does. And, I think the only other thing is, like, I just pray that we get Fenton some support, man. Get that man some support out there.
Yeah, I swear if Chris Jones has another sack that isn't counted, I'm gonna riot.
Lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Can you imagine Chiefs Kingdom if that happens?
I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's not gonna be good.
Even a Christmas, man.
But I do also think though, like Travis is gonna be doubled and triple teamed this game, especially after the game he just had.
But does it matter?
Give a lot of opportunity for MVS for. Yeah. All of our receivers whose names I can't think of right now because I just
one thing I want to say is that I'm it's a little curious that none of our wide receivers have had a touchdown yet.
Yeah, what is going on?
That one.
Because this is really reminiscent of that Alex Smith season where we had not a single wide receiver touchdown the whole season. Can we not do this again, please?
Yeah. I'm ready for one of them to have a touchdown. Maybe Juju. I don't know. I'm ready for one of them.
If Juju's healthy, he did not look healthy that game. He looked like he was hindered quite a bit. So,
well, I thought MVS was last week because it was his birthday, but there's that.
I know. So whoever's open, I'll take it. I'll take it. Whoever wants to score can score, but I would love to see one of our wide receivers go.
Yes.
100%. Sweet. All right. Well, let's get into the game picks for this week. There is a lot of good football this weekend. Like, I'm actually really excited for week 6 football. So, all right, let's start it off. Bengals at Saints, Sunday at noon. Who do you
I have the Bengals winning this game. I think they're going to be wanting to prove themselves after the loss to the Ravens, and I just think they're an all-around better team than the Saints are. The Saints are too up and down for me, so I'm going with Bengals.
I mean, the Saints are 1-3, right? 1-4, right?
1-4.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I would like to see the Saints have this. We love an upset when it doesn't affect the Chiefs. So I'm going to go with that for my NFL upset, and I'd like to see the Saints have it.
We don't agree, Shelley. What is happening?
I know. I just thought, oh no,
New Orleans. It's in New Orleans, and I'm sure their fans. Y'all know what Saints fans. They are like Chiefs fans. You know what I mean? They're going to have that stadium rocking.
Yeah.
So. You never know.
I think the Saints are also going to be due. I'm going to say the Saints because I do not want to pick the Bengals, but it pains me to pick the Bengals, so I'm going to pick the Saints with Shelley there. I'm going to say that's an upset. They're at home. They're desperate for some more wins. I think Honey Badger wants a little revenge on Joe Burrow from last season, so I hope he gets like some kind of pick 6 or something. I'm going to go Saints, but I truly think it can go either way.
Yeah, I agree. I think it can go either way. The only reason why I'm going Saints is because it's a home game, and I know what that home crowd can do to your team. And I think the Bengals are an okay team this year. I don't think they're a fantastic team, and I think their fans are going to really impact how that game goes. I think Joe Burrow is going to get sacked like 5 times minimum. So, yeah. Next game, really good one. Ravens at Giants at noon. Which, before the season starts, you're like, oh, I know who's going to win this game easy. And now it's like, oh, well, the Giants have a better record right now than the Ravens. So,
yeah. I don't know. I have no idea who I want to pick. I feel like I want to go with where's the game?
It's in New York it's at the Giants.
At Giants. Oh man. I want to pick Ravens because Lamar Jackson really is just playing so well, but I also feel like so is Danny Dimes. Like you said, he's playing fantastic. I honestly feel like this game could go either way. I'm going to go Ravens, but I'm not confident in it. I would prefer the Giants win because it would be better for us. So
right.
Yeah, I'm going to go Giants. I think they're coming off that massive win for them against the Packers. And I think they'll keep their momentum going. So I'm going to go Giants on this one.
I'm actually going to go Ravens off of the sheer fact that the Giants are coming off of a big travel week. And they did just play in the UK, and they might be a little tired. They might not be their full, I don't know. So I'm going to go Ravens. I think both teams are going to really want to win this one to prove themselves. So it's going to be a good game, better than we ever would have thought at the beginning of the season. So, but I'll go Ravens.
How's the Giants' defense?
It's pretty solid. They stopped the Packers second half, pretty much.
Yeah, right. I was trying to just run through who they've played so far in my mind. I have the Giants winning. I originally said Giants win, but I'm actually not sure.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, to see them go 5-1 would be crazy. But I think really the Ravens are long overdue. Like the Ravens cannot lose this game. Like they can't lose.
The must win.
They need to win. Yeah. But I would love to see the upset. So I'm going Giants. Next game, Cardinals at Seahawks, 3:05.
Man,
Geno.
I love Geno Smith, and I just picked him up in fantasy. So you know what?
Okay.
Let's do it, Geno Smith. Let's do it. Give me some points because my quarterbacks have sucked all year. So you know what? I'm going Seahawks for pure selfish desire of wanting to win my fantasy league. Go Seahawks. Woo!
Yeah. Normality restored. We agree again, Chrissy. I'm going Seahawks.
Yay!
Yeah. I know. All is right with the world.
All is right.
It's at Seahawks, right?
Yes, in Seattle.
Yeah, I want to go Seattle. They have that 12th man like Arrowhead does. They have that home crowd that shows up and is loud and is crazy. And I think Geno's a man on a mission this season. He's a man on a mission to prove everyone wrong. Like, okay, you traded Russell Wilson. I'm your starter now, but look, he's outplaying Russell Wilson right now. So let's go, Geno. Let's go.
Okay.
We're all agreeing on this one so far.
Yeah, no, I'm going Seahawks too, just because I love Geno Smith and I want what's best for him. And I think that crowd is going to be rocking. I agree.
Yeah, their defense worries me a little, but I think they can pull it off. And they are out. Rashad Penny, their running back, did go out for the season, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Seattle, but
yep, he was my fantasy running back. It's fine.
I just can't even talk. I haven't even looked at my fantasy football from last week because I don't want to. You know why? Because I started. Who did I start, Lexi? Who went out after the first drive?
I don't remember, but I beat Jodi twice this week. So
yeah, I think I went 0-7. Anyway, next game. Don't even want to talk about it. Next game, really good one. Really, really good one. Sunday night football, Cowboys at Eagles.
Oh man, that game's gonna be good.
Second best game of the weekend.
That's gonna be good. So here's my thing. I feel like I don't think Dak is going to be back yet. It's uncertain, but they're not feeling comfortable. They're not feeling confident that he'll be back. So I'm going to give this edge to the Eagles, just because until someone can prove that they can beat them, and I don't believe Cooper Rush can beat them. I think it's really been the Dallas defense who has kept them in this season. Their defense has been great. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. So,
yeah, I'm sticking with the Kelseys. I'm going to go Eagles.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking good. They are looking good. And they're fun to watch as well. So, yeah, Eagles win.
I'm actually going to go Cowboys with this one. I think Cowboys could be the team to upset the Eagles. I think they're division rivals. They're going to have their number. Cowboys defense is nothing to mess around with right now.
Yeah, no, they are.
Rush is proving to do pretty dang well without, being a backup, So I'm going to go Cowboys.
So I dealt with this rivalry for 6 years, and it was crazy.
Jodi used to work for the Cowboys briefly, so she's kind of has the insight on them a little bit.
I do think if Dak comes back, they lose. I have them splitting this year, both winning at home. So I actually think the Eagles win at home because I think the Eagles play the Cowboys. It's either Thanksgiving or Christmas this year in Jerry's world. And I know the Cowboys will win that game for sure. So I'm going Eagles just because Jalen Hurts has been great. Devonta Smith has been that whole team has been on fire. Their defense has been they've been lights out. They've played some really good teams too. So it's not like they've played terrible teams so far this year.
I will say they almost lost to the Cardinals last week. That was a close game. So
yeah.
You never know.
We lost to the Colts.
Any given Sunday.
I laugh about it now. I'm still hurt. But I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going Eagles. It would be cool to see them 6-0. That NFC East is crazy. So I'm going Eagles. Lexi talked about this game earlier. the terrible Monday Night Football game, but it's a division game. Broncos at Chargers. Broncos in LA.
Chargers.
Football. I think I'm going to sleep on that. I think I'm going to sleep through that one.
I'm going with the Chargers. They've got the better quarterback. I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries, but I still think they're a better overall team. I don't believe in the Broncos one bit. Sorry, Broncos fans. Sorry, Ashley, if you're watching. I'm sorry. I can't. He was like, I'm my best friend. I'm so sorry you're a Broncos fan. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Chargers. There's no
Yeah. I think there's got to be a lot of heartbreak if you are a Broncos fan, especially, before the season started. So hopeful, so hyped. Broncos are going to win the division, going to finish
Super Bowl hopes, aspirations.
Well, but no, they're not doing it. No. And I've got Broncos fans in my life, so I don't want to be horrible to them, but no, the Broncos aren't getting it.
I think we just have to be honest. Yeah, I think the Chargers. And didn't Russell Wilson kind of get injured last week as well?
Yeah, he did.
He's playing with a torn something in his shoulder.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Chargers. It's at Chargers home. I don't see it going to the Broncos.
But they haven't said that he's out, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I think it's his lat. I think he's got a partial tear in his lat muscle, which is like this guy through here. But I don't know if it's his throwing arm, his non-throwing arm. I don't know all the details on it, but
maybe he should be out.
Maybe they probably would.
Maybe they should be
somebody else.
I'm going Chargers. What is it they say? Bolts up. Bolts up.
Oh no, we're not saying that.
Just kidding. Don't say
awful.
that.
It's awful.
Erase it.
Clip it. Okay. And then we got to give our score predictions. Chiefs, Bills at Arrowhead, Sunday Night Football. Another primetime game.
Oh,
well, somewhat primetime.
Yeah.
Oh, 3:05. Jesus Christ. 3:25. It's not a night game.
It's the CBS game of the week. So
CBS was not about to give that up. So
yeah, no, not at all.
So first of all, I just need to let everyone know, do not text me, do not don't do anything during the game because I will be coaching a championship soccer game.
Oh wow.
during the football game.
Oh God, that's
so
awful.
I'll be recording it and watching it later. But I think the Chiefs have had to play from behind more times and had to fight through more adversity this year than the Bills have. And I think that's going to play to our advantage. I think playing a game like we just did against the Raiders, very similar to how we started against the Colts and we came back and we were all firing on all cylinders against the Bucs. I think that's the Chiefs team we're going to see. They're going to have a crazy week of practice. They're going to fix the mistakes that we had in the first half. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like 27-24 Chiefs. I think it's going to be really close, which is going to be bad for all of our health. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a similar scoreline. I think that Pat is loving getting 4 touchdowns. That seems to be like, that's what he wants. So I think that obviously the Chiefs are going to have it. I think maybe 21, 28, something like that. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the Chiefs will have it. I think it comes down to whether it's an offensive match or a defensive match, but I think it's going to be offensive if it's anything like we saw in the playoff game last season. So let's go 34-29 Chiefs.
Okay. Transparency moment. Before the season started, I had us losing this game. I have the Chiefs losing 5 games this year. This was one of my L's. That's kind of changed a little bit, though. And I really have thought about this all day today because even up until about 5 o'clock, I said we were losing this game. But I actually think we do win. I think we win. I think the world expects us to lose because the Bills have this 13-second vendetta that they feel like they need to get over and get past. I know we're going to play them in the playoffs too. I do think we win though. I think we win now. I've changed my mind. And I think it's going to be like 31-27 or 30-27. I think it'll be within a field goal
Yeah.
or something. So,
And I
think it
hope
could be. Oh, go ahead, Lexi.
I hope we get Harrison Butker back. I don't know for sure on him yet. I know
Yeah.
Matthew Wright, I do want to give him a tiny little shout out because he did set the Arrowhead record for the longest field goal of 59 yards. Somehow he beat Butker in that, which is hilarious to me.
right.
But overall, I hope we get Butker back because some of those key plays, we need those points.
Yeah, we can't be leaving like field goals or extra points on the board. We can't do that against the Bills. We cannot make those mistakes that they could be a game changer. I honestly feel like this game is going to come down on points wise. Like I feel like there could be a defensive play that could really be the change in the game. So I feel like our defense has got to step up and come alive this game like we did against the Bucks. Like we've got to play more like we did against the Bucks.
I think we start from behind too. I think we chase. I don't think we're going to come out. I think we're going to come out guns blazing, but I think they're going to score first. I think they're going to get the ball at halftime. I think we're going to chase too. So
I think what's hilarious is like hardly ever in Patrick Mahomes' career has he been the underdog at home going into the game. And right now we're like 3-point underdogs.
I think this is the first
it was
time
2
ever.
points yesterday and it's 3
second
points
or something.
Yeah.
Probably like second to like the Patriots or something a long time ago. So
Yeah.
I think we handle adversity really well, and I think being discounted like that, we usually play better. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I'm very excited to see how it goes.
And if this game is anything like the game last season in the playoffs, like let's say we do lose this game, but let's say we lose it in that fashion.
Yeah.
As long as we go out and we play, I'm not going to be upset. I mean, we'll all be frustrated and be sad, but if you lose to a team like the Bills who are playing as well as they are right now, and if we play like our best football that game, I mean, I just want our guys to play a good game of football. I want them to play Chiefs football. I don't want to be playing any of this Indianapolis Chiefs or first half of the Raiders Chiefs. I want to see the Chiefs from the Bucks game and from the Arizona game, the Chiefs that I know we can be. That's what I want to see on Sunday. So.
I mean, this game, honestly, it debates on if we play at home or in the playoffs.
I know this is
here or there during the playoffs. Like
this
I
is
know
the battle for first in the AFC.
Yeah, it carries a ton of weight, but I also think we played really good on the road.
We lost it last year at home to them.
Yeah.
Granted, our team made a ton of mistakes. We had Tyreek Hill interception. We had Daniel Sorensen getting burned. You know, but I don't see our guys getting burned like we did last season. So hopefully we keep it a much closer match this year.
Yeah.
This regular season.
I agree.
So,
well, you guys.
I gotta blow my nose, y'all.
You have what?
I gotta blow my nose.
You gotta blow your nose. Well, we'll all wrap this up for us then. You guys,
struggling with the allergies from Kansas City.
They're so bad right now. First of all, I want to thank you guys as always for coming and joining us each and every week to talk the Chiefs and the NFL. Also want to give a huge shout out to Shelley, who has stayed up till 1 a.m. plus 2 nights in a row after a really, really crazy busy weekend. And so Shelley, we love you. Thank you so much for taking one for the team.
We love you. We love you.
Yes. As always, if you guys want to know where you can watch our show, head over to Twitter and follow us on @Kingdoms Queens. And you can find all the places you can catch our show each and every week, whether it be through subscribing through Apple or Spotify or catching it on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter live. There's so many places you can find it. So head over to our Twitter page and follow us so you can get all the updates each and every week.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, and on Instagram. We have an Instagram now, guys. So go follow us. It's great.
And I'm going to be working on making a TikTok page this week as well. So be looking out for that too. I'll announce that later this week. But
yes, we're everywhere because we love you guys, and you deserve to see us everywhere. Let's be honest.
Why not?
So these two teams, Chiefs and Bills, guys, they played one of the best football games ever watched by any fan base. It has become an instant classic, that 13-second game from last year. So we all know that this game has been circled on the calendar for these two teams since last year. When they saw the schedule come out, they were saying, you know what, that's the game. And all the fan bases were saying the same thing, like, oh man, this is going to be an epic game. So I know that Chiefs Kingdom is going to come. They are going to rock the house. They're going to be loud. And I really think that they could be a huge difference in the game, really letting the defense feed off that energy and the offense just going crazy. So everybody drink your honey, heal your vocal cords, because we expect you guys to be loud on Sunday and just prepare to shake the earth on Sunday and be the huge difference in that game. So until next time, the Queens have spoken.
All right.